What's up, everybody? It's your girl Relle Unique here. I'm here to do a review on Tamar Braxton's Get Your Life, episode 3. Please check out episode 1 and 2 review, where I discuss my thoughts and feelings on those episodes. And so here we are for episode 3. So we start off and the producers have come to Tamar's house and her house is completely empty, right? Producers receive a call. They tell the attorney, which is Tamar's attorney, tells the producers that they must leave the premises. Tamar claims that she has some kind of doctor's note where she can't record or whatever. And so 2 days actually go by where the producers can't speak to Tamar, can't record with Tamar, any of that stuff. Now, this is the thing that Mona talked to Tamar about right away from day one. Not shutting them out, not breaking down and stopping recording and all that type of stuff. Like, she gets in her moods, she gets in her feelings. You know what? I would not be shocked if Tamar did not have some kind of borderline personality disorder, honestly, because one side of her is one thing, this flamboyant, bold, talented side that's ready to work. The other side is like breakdown, shutdown, meltdown, emotionally drained, just out of it. So I would not be shocked if that was a thing in her world. Like I said, I can't prescribe nothing for her, but these are my thoughts, okay? So that happens. Tamar is then on her way to her show in Baltimore, right? And it's, she's headed to Baltimore. She's on her way. She talks about being in DC. She talks about her niece who had recently passed away. I believe her niece was ill. This was her brother's daughter, and she recently passed away. Some of you may have heard it in the news. But she was a young girl, I believe. I feel like she was in her late teens, early 20s. But Tamar just talked about how that completely changed her life, and things changed drastically for her after that happened. Before we even get to the trip to Baltimore, Tamar's calling David because the dog pooped in the apartment. I don't know why that's something she got to call David about, talking about get your dog. But Miracle is her dog. Her and Vince got that dog when they were married. So I don't know what that whole situation is about. People will probably have a problem with that just because David claimed Tamar's apartment. Now David's claiming the dog too, whatever. Y'all know David's the villain of this show, and every reality show gotta have a villain. So David's that villain for this show. Anyway, I don't know why Tamar couldn't just clean up the dog poo or have one of her people in her entourage clean it up. I don't know why she had to call David for that, but whatever. So she's on her way to the show. As she's preparing for the show, she has a producer with her. She has Goalie with her, which is so cool. I think that she has Goalie with her on this trip. I would love for somebody I would love to work with a Goalie. I mean, I don't have any dreams that's all wild and crazy like hers. But I would love to have somebody there to be like, okay, yeah, when you're doing this, you behave in this way. I see you thinking like this. I see you reacting like this. So to help you reach your highest potential, artistic potential. I think that's pretty cool, Tamar's still having vocal issues, but here's my thing with her. She don't never shut up. Girl, I know you're doing a show and all, but where's your vocal rest? You're talking constantly. You're talking in the car. You're talking at soundtrack the whole time. You want to go from the beginning of the show to the end of the show singing full voice the whole time. You're talking. You had to be the one to do the prayer after. When are you resting your voice, girl? Relax. This is why you have all these vocal problems, because you don't chill out. You don't rest. You don't relax. All these people that you got in your entourage, I'm sure they got things to say. So rest your voice. So, David plans a meeting with Kevin. Kevin is Tracy's husband. Tracy's Tamar's sister. This is Tamar's older sister, because Tamar's the baby of the bunch. And Tracy is like second oldest, because Tony's the oldest. And they've always had like a rift in their relationship. And so David, he plans a meeting with Kevin to see if he could figure out a way that they can reconcile. He mentions how, like, you know, in African families, you know, when a couple wants to get married, the families join together as one. In America, it's not quite like that. You can get married and not care about the brother, the sister, the uncle, whoever. And so it was important for him to meet with Kevin to see if they could talk, to see if he could get Tracy and Tamar to reconcile. Tamar and Tracy, they have been estranged for a year now. I think they last saw each other in Napa Valley, which turned into some drama. So let's see. People are going to have a problem with this. People are going to have a problem with this because David did this meeting behind Tamar's back, and he means well. And he's trying to bring the families together. But I believe that this situation is like really deep rooted for a lot of reasons. And I kind of feel like, I know David's trying to be supportive, but one thing when it comes to men, you got to stay out of sister drama. You got to stay out of sister drama, because sisters are going to beef. Like, sisters will argue with each other just like best friends. You'll argue with each other, and then the next day y'all be cool. So one thing that I know this is going to be taken really far, because everybody has painted David to be this super controlling guy. I don't really feel like David's being controlling in these moments. That's not to say that he's not controlling. I just feel like David is alpha male, and the African men that I've dated are alpha male, and they just are kind of no nonsense type of individuals. But when it comes to this situation with meeting with Kevin, I feel like it came from a good place, but I also feel like you just can't get in a mix of sister drama. The best way that you can support would be just to listen to your girl. Listen to her, give her a few minimal encouragers, like, oh, what? She did that? What? You know, you can tell her what you think. You should call her. You know, I know y'all love each other. Call her. You can say that, but other than that, stay out of it. Because women are women. That's it. We understand each other, and we just live with a different set of rules. Like, men don't live by the same rules that women live by. So I just feel like I think it was just ignorant on his part, just him not understanding that women just gotta be women, and we gotta go through our stuff, and everything's so deep rooted. And when we go back to those clips, Tamar was very mean and aggressive to Tracy. And Tracy, see, here it is though. Tamar hits with mental and emotional aggression, and Tracy looked like she's ready for that physical aggression, okay? Because she's good and fed up, which she has a right to be. So, and I think Tamar was just very dismissive of her, and yeah. But all in all, I think David should kind of stay out of that situation. But I don't think he did it to be malicious. He invited Kevin and Tracy to his birthday party that was coming up. And yeah, so they were considering going to the birthday party, and he invited them also to Tamar's show. And if they would have showed up to Tamar's show, that would have been so awesome. But I understand why Tracy hasn't shown up, because dealing with Tamar is hurtful, especially if you're one of the sisters who she was actually really mean to. She was telling her in that moment, like, it's hard, like, I'm hurting. And Tamar would always, if you watch those seasons back, she'd be like, oh, well, and what? It ain't my fault you ain't make it. Ah! Like, that was Tamar's personality, like, when she was really pouring her heart out to how hurtful she was. Now, all of a sudden, Tamar, sorry, I don't know why somebody always calls me when I'm in the middle of these videos. They don't call me when I'm not doing a review. I don't know what it's about. But anyway, Um, she's never receptive when other people are hurting, but she always wants somebody else to be receptive when she's hurting. And that's my problem with Tamar. I don't enjoy that about her. All right, moving on. But yeah, David, stay out of sister drama, because us females, we live by a whole different set of rules. It's certain things it's certain things that you won't even understand that us girls, when it comes to our interaction, we know and we get. All right, so let's move on. So Goldie has some like relaxation tactics that she's doing for Tamar, which I think are pretty cool. You know, she's helping her relax from the crown of her head to the sole of her feet. You know, all that good stuff. So that goes well. I wanted to start with the positives, and I did not do that. I forgot to do that. One of the positives, though, was Tamar's performance. Like, the girl can blow. She can really sing. Like, her range is outrageous. And she's an entertainer just naturally. We see that. That's why she has all these reality shows, because she's just naturally entertaining. So she looked cute. Hair was cute. Performance was good. Unfortunately, Kevin and Tracy did not show up. But, we knew it could possibly go that way anyway. But David was right there. Her entourage was right there. Goldie was there. You know, she has a support that was with her. Tamar has a conversation after the show with David. And I really feel like this conversation should have been private. This conversation should not be on the show. This is a conversation that you have with your man in private. And it's unfortunate that she doesn't understand when it's time to be in the forefront and when it's time to not be. You know, David is concerned about Goldie. He feels like just unsure about this DreamWorks situation. And I know that's going to be a whole nother, because like I said, David is the villain of the show. I know that's going to be a whole nother situation of people feeling like he's being controlling. But people don't understand that when you are a Christian, especially an African Christian, the ones that I've dealt with, they are deeply religious, and they are always questioning if outside things are witchcraft, or if you're being, they just don't want to be in a demonic kind of environment or situation. Like, it's really a normal thing for him to have some reluctant feelings about this DreamWorks situation. It's absolutely normal for him to feel that way. Let's see. He wants to know more. He feels like he deserves to know more. And I feel like he deserves to know more too. Because if her dream work is affecting their relationship. They've been together for almost 2 years. She now has to be celibate for 45 days. As her boyfriend, he like, well, what is this? You know, he want to know what's going on. And I feel like he has a right to want to know what's going on. And I feel like he has a right to say that he does not feel comfortable with this, or he doesn't really like it. Does Tamar have to listen to him? No. She's her own woman. She don't have to listen to him. As far as, I feel like she needs to hear him out, but she doesn't have to go with what he believes. She can still go with what she believes. There's some balance within that. You don't have to do everything your man says do, but just hear him out. Like, he's not wrong for having some kind of, he's feeling uncomfortable. He's questioning, what is this? Especially coming as an African man, like, they're questioning. And if he, like he mentioned on the show, I've seen voodoo. I've seen these things being done. So why would he not be afraid of what she's about to get herself into? Why would he not question these things? And what he mentioned was that Tamar's very open and very accepting of other people and very trusting of other people. And we see that a lot. Like, she's on here, she's trusting Mona. Mona is not to be trusted. She's just not. Mona is trying to get a dime. Okay? So, like, she is very trusting of others. Like, what is Patty Pie doing there? I like him and all, but why is he really around? Because he sung some songs on YouTube with Patty? about Patty's Pies. Like, what? Why is like she just her team is too big? You got too many people around, and I don't fault David for being for questioning that, especially if it affects their relationship in a sense. Also, to add to that, David's family is now being included in the show, so he's like, wait a minute, because like I've mentioned, I have some friends who some of my African friends, like, they're not about to bring their family into this situation, and they don't know if this is witchcraft, because now they looking at you like, well, why did you bring me into this? This is demonic, this is whatever. He's trying to protect his family, he's trying to protect his girl, he's trying to protect his spiritual life. He don't know what this lady is about. What if she's a witch? I don't have a problem with him questioning these things. It's really a big cultural difference. That's really what this is about. There's a cultural difference here. And I don't have a problem with him questioning. I just don't like that he has to have this argument with her in front of everybody. That is not right. This is a private conversation between David and Tamar. And like I said, I like Goldie for Tamar. I like this DreamWorks situation. Sorry, I got allergies. Excuse me. I like this DreamWorks situation for her, because it does give her a chance to settle and look within herself, because she doesn't get the chance to do that for a number of reasons. So I like this for her. Let's see. And because he's just not clear of what it is, I just think it would have been more fair if they could have had this conversation off camera, so he could figure out what it is, learn what it is. He could still have his feelings about it, and she could still go ahead and go do it. Okay. So then Tamar tells Goldie how David's feeling. I get it. I mean, I guess she didn't have a choice. Whatever. She's back and forth. Tamar's back and forth on the phone with David. They're whispering in the background. She's yelling at them like, y'all gotta go because I don't want my man to feel disrespected. Which I'm sure he already felt disrespected. And now your crew feels disrespected. Whatever. And the producers are feeding all into this, telling Goldie she needs to change her clothes because David's coming up there to talk to her. Like, they were just really being extra. Goldie did not need to change her clothes. You know what I'm saying? It's just, he wanted to talk to her. And what David was saying over the phone was, he wants to talk in private, because if he deems this situation to be demonic, it is going to ruin and sabotage Goldie's business. It is. It's just going to look bad. And that's exactly what's happening, because it should have been in private. And Goldie overhears that. Because once again, that conversation should have been private, but Goldie's sitting right there, you having this conversation, and Goldie think he's trying to sabotage her career. You know, why else? What else would she think? You know, she has a right to think that, just like he has a right to question whether this is demonic or not. So Goldie's like, this is about religion. This is not about religion. It's about creativity. And here's the thing about Christians, from my experience as a Christian, everything is about your religion. When you're a Christian, everything should be about your religion. Everything you do, you should be questioning. Like, that's what we're held to, if that makes sense. We're held to everything, what TV shows you're watching, what music you're listening to, like, everything should be a question of, am I pleasing God when I'm doing this? That is the standard we're usually held to. So because that's the standard we're usually held to, that separation a lot of times, and I'm not saying every time, but that separation of this is religion, this is creativity, this is something, like, there's not always that divide, if that makes sense. You know, it's the same as, like, you know, a Christian who might not feel comfortable singing secular music. Why? Because everything you do is supposed to be in reverence to your spiritual beliefs, your belief in Christ. And then I wanted to make mention, because this is on my notes, also that David knows and understands the occult and in Hollywood. Like, we know that there's a lot of demonic stuff in Hollywood, so I understand why he feels the way he does. Do I agree? I don't agree. I do think this is different. I do think this is separate, but I just do understand that there are some people who don't see a separation. Like, you know, for them, you know, that standard is everything you do, everything you involve yourself in, you know, all that type of stuff. We should be questioning if this is witchcraft or not. So I just get it. That's all. I get it, and I don't view it as a controlling thing. I just view it as this man is trying to protect his girl, and hold on to his belief and protect his family. So Goldie hears all of this and she gets in her feelings big time, right? She's crying. She's like, I can't do this show. Now, let me tell you something. If you're going to be working with Tamar Braxton, you're going to have some tough skin. I don't know who you thought you was working with, but even when she's in a good mood, you got to have tough skin. I don't know how you're working with all of these celebrities and you're doing the business that you have and you can't take some critique. How does that work? Especially when you're doing like dream work. Of course it's going to be some people that think that what you're doing might be demonic or fake or whatever. You're going to have to get some thicker skin, Goldie. I'm not here for Goldie's breakdown. I'm so sorry. I just feel like it was unfair. I mean, I understand that Goldie was hurt. Don't get me wrong. I understand that Goldie was hurt. I understand Goldie being like, dang, do I even want to work with this girl anymore? I get that. Goldie should have left and took a moment. I did not care for her having that breakdown and making that breakdown Tamar's issue, and now Tamar got to console you. Who's the dream worker here? You are. You're the professional here. Why is Tamar having to hug and console you? Pick yourself up. Pick your head up if you're going to still be around. Get some thick skin, because you're not messing around with nobody. Like Tamar's a savage, and she could be a savage. Like, you got to have some thick skin when you're dealing with the Braxton family, period. All this whining and crying and David's going to hurt my business and he's going to kill me. I can't even focus on the dreams now because David. You've heard some critiques before, girl. Stop it. All you got to say is, I don't know what David's talking about. This is not demonic. This is what I do. I've heard critiques before, but this is what I do, and it has worked when I worked with this celebrity, that celebrity, that celebrity, and that celebrity. Stand on your business, stand on your purpose, stand on your ground. I'm not here for Goldie's breakdown. I'm so sorry. If she was going to have that meltdown, she should have did it off camera, and she should have left. That is not Tamar. That just added more pressure, because it's already a lot of pressure when you have a boyfriend or a man, and This is somebody who you're talking marriage with, because Tamar and David have been talking marriage, you know. So it's hard when you want to do something and your man ain't really with it. He don't really like it, and y'all having a fuss between each other about that. And then now here you come as the professional, you crying to me too. Tamar's not emotionally equipped to be consoling Goldie. She's just not, okay? She's not even emotionally equipped to be doing this show. Let's keep it 100. Okay. Now I'm back. But Goldie was like straight tripping on some, I can't function. I can't even focus on the dreams. Blah, blah, blah. Girl, get your life. Okay? You're a grown woman. Definitely gotta have tough skin. Let's see. But I do understand Goldie's frustration in the sense that every time she tries to work with Tamar, there is some sort of distraction. There is something where you can't get deep enough. Like Goldie had said something where you got to go into the dark and to come to the light. And it's the truth. Like, she has so much internal work to do that she can't do it if she only hits the surface. Like, she got to delve deep. She got to get in there. She got to cry them tears. She got to talk about those molestation occurrences. She got to delve deep in order to really be delivered from what she got going on. Like that producer told Goldie, you gotta go through to get through, okay? Alright, let's see. David is willing to talk to Goldie. I am interested to see what that conversation is going to be like. I'm sure there's probably not much that Goldie could say at this point. Because David just kind of feels how he feels about this kind of work. But that's fine. And she got to shrug it off. Because everybody's not going to like what you do. My mom is talking to me all the time about how Hollywood, so many people are demonic and Illuminati and it's evil and this and that. I mean, that don't mean she don't like what I do, but it, you know, hear them out and then decide what you're going to do. We don't have to have all these emotional breakdowns about it. You're grown. So Mona arrives because production has been talking to her. They really haven't been getting enough footage because Tamar keeps having all these breakdowns and leaving and distractions, and they can't get through any real good scenes with her, you know. All the resources have been given to her, but she's not utilizing them. And that was my problem with her in the last two episodes. You got Jay White here, who's worked with Cardi B. He's gone diamond with her. You got him here, but you're distracted. You're not recording. You're not singing. You know, you got the producers here for the song, and they come directly to your home, and you can't get no work done. Goalies have been around, and she can't get no work done with you. Like, what is going on? And that's the problem, because her emotional life causes her to be so unprofessional at times. But what I did not like was Mona said, you have so many issues and they're never your own issues. They don't have anything to do with you. There's some sabotaging energy around. Like, what are you trying to say? Because honestly, the way I feel, a lot of Tamar's issues are because of Tamar. So I'm trying to figure out which ones aren't. Are you just talking about David? Because we're going to have this narrative of him being the enemy and the villain. What are you talking about? Because her being upset and crying, that's brokenness. That's hurtness. And I'm not going to say every time she has a problem, it's her. But we do have to own our own mess, and we do have to be accountable for our own mess. We do have to be accountable for how she was treating her sisters. This is why you don't have this relationship with them. We got to be honest about that. Were her sisters mean to her at times? Absolutely, they were. But she was a jerk to her sisters most often. The distraction of not wanting to sing when you're at the studio, that's her own thing. She did that. She's created that. All these distractions. I mean, Logan's going to come in the building. You know, you got to say something to your kid. Ain't nobody saying nothing about that. But you don't have to cook a full pan of macaroni and cheese. You don't have to. Like, you don't. I understand you going to want to stop and pray with Logan, but he don't have to sell the chocolates. We don't have to hear this whole song about chitlins. Like, these are issues that Tamar has created. What are we talking about? I don't know. On to more notes. Let's see. But Mona ultimately wants more from Tamar, which is so hard to watch, because in this moment Tamar doesn't have more to give, and she doesn't even realize that. Like, I do understand, like, when you're trying to do a show, you can't deal with somebody that's constantly leaving and constantly shutting you out, and having the lawyers call to keep you away from doing a scene. Like, no, that's not good for business. But on the other end, Tamar she does not emotionally have any more to give. She's drained. But, you know, Mona's Mona, and she's got to make her money. She is giving Tamar the opportunity to say, like, okay, are we done with this or not? She's asking Tamar that. But Tamar is just not emotionally in tune enough or emotionally intelligent enough to say, like, I can't do this. Whatever. But, she started talking to Tamar about her family issues. Tamar says it was her versus everybody. Whatever. Because Tony's always had Tamar's back. For sure. And so has Trina. I don't know about her dad. I ain't gonna speak on her dad. And Miss Evelyn was wrong for going on TMZ and telling TMZ that Vince was beating on Tamar. She was wrong for that. But we see that there's a pattern here. There is a pattern here. And maybe Vince was beating on Tamar. I don't know. But it's mighty interesting that Vince was beating on Tamar. Now David's beating on Tamar. And she had an abusive relationship before Vince. Everybody's abusing Tamar. I don't know. I see a pattern here. And people who are abused are often abused again and again. But we have to, we just, not to negate what I just said. However, instead of but, we have to pay attention to the toxic behavior that Tamar has as well as the abuse. But it is unhealthy with her being outside of family. I wish they could figure it out, but it's so much ego. And it does get to a point where it's like, okay, I'm not going, if I keep coming to you and keep being rejected, like, that's hurtful. And they tried. If Iyanla can't fix your life, who can? I don't know. Y'all saw TD Jakes, y'all saw Dr. Phil, y'all saw Iyanla. And, you gotta be ready to do the work. And that's part of the problem. Tamar might be ready to do the work now, but in the past she was not. And a number of them was not. Miss Evelyn was not. When it was time for her to work with Iyanla, she was not ready. So, you have to put forth the effort as well. These people can't do it for you. But yeah, I do want to see them reconcile. That would be nice because I love that show. Yeah. So they came up with the idea of Goldie working with Tamar's family. I don't know how Goldie's gonna do it, y'all, because after that breakdown today, it's like, girl, I don't think Goldie's strong enough to work with the Braxton family. We gonna see. But I don't think Goldie can stick it out long enough to work with the Braxton family. You, like I said, gotta have some tough skin. And you gotta really be able to put your foot down. Let's see. So, yeah. Tamar kind of ends the show saying that, she understands, like, one of the things she loves about David is that he is so spiritual and he is connected that way. And so, she loves that. And so she understands that it's coming from a good place of just wanting her soul to be anchored in the Lord. But just because it's coming from a good place doesn't always mean that you have to follow it. It doesn't mean that. Because like she said, she really had a powerful moment within herself working with Goldie. I saw that and I feel that, and I want her to continue working with Goldie by herself. And because I do feel like Goldie can help her to get within there. Like some of those revelations Goldie had about her, like attacking people that are trying to help her. She sees them as enemies. That was eye-opening. Some, like the other revelations she had, like how Goldie noticed that in her dream she always had like a pattern of somebody cheating on her or betraying her, like a pattern of betrayal, PTSD with betrayal. That's something that only a therapist or some kind of professional could tell you. Because in your mind, you like, dang, I keep having all these weird dreams. That's all you can say to yourself. But when a professional is there to tell you something, it makes you think about it differently. Like, dang. And then you assess it for yourself and you're like, that's right. Or maybe you assess it and you be like, that ain't right. And y'all keep conversing till y'all figure out what the problem actually is. But I think this dream work with Goldie is great. I'm still Team David. I just think he's alpha male. And I think Tamar actually likes alpha male. But I just think that they want him to be the villain. They want him to be the guy who is controlling. And maybe he is. We'll find out more. But these situations that I've seen so far is not controlling to me. Yeah. They're not controlling to me. They're like really opinionated. So we're going to watch more. We're going to see what this conversation is. And then we'll, with Goldie and David, and we'll see more. So let's go into the comments. Hey, Anna. All right, let's see. She said, I was impatiently waiting, sis, for your review. Girl, as soon as it came on, I was at work writing notes, like, because I want to make sure I say everything I need to say. So you said, did you know there is another season of Braxton Family Values? I wonder how them filming affected her. Yeah, I'm ready. I heard that there was going to be another season, and Tracy got some kind of secret that she's going to tell. So I'm interested to know what that secret is. I just don't think, I mean, it might be, I don't know. I just don't think Tamar's ready for reality. I just feel like she's so fragile. She's so fragile. I wish she would just do her work. Honestly, Tamar should be single. Honestly. So even though I'm Team David right now, I think that Tamar, and I say right now because that could change, I think that Tamar should be single. She should be focused on Logan, and she should do her music, and she needs to do her dream work, or some kind of internal work, some kind of therapy, something. And then let that be it, girl. Let the reality shows go for a little bit, because you're not ready. Because it's a lot of betrayal. Like, you're going to be sitting there, you talking to Mona, you're giving her all your life story, you're trusting her to do right by you, and at the end of the day, she has a show to produce that's entertaining. She got money to make, because it costs money to do those shows. So she wants to recoup. So she's going to put out whatever she's going to put out. And as we can see, Tamar's going through that right now. She didn't even want the show to come out anymore. So it's like, I'm sure at this point she probably feels betrayed by Mona, which we all saw that coming. But we'll see. We'll watch more. But I am excited for Braxton Family Values. I'm loving Toni Braxton's new music that she's been putting out lately. And I'm excited to hear Tamar's music that she's working on. Like I said before in the last 2 episodes, if you have not heard Tamar's music, go on some different platforms and check it out. Songs I love from that, especially from that album that she had with Vince, Love and War. My favorite song on that album is Pieces. There's Stay and Fight for You, All the Way Home. What else? And there's another fight song. I can't remember what the other fight song was. And she said, okay, so Anna said, I also don't think David and Tamar understand each other's language. Yeah, they don't. Tamar is like, pop, 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 pop. Always talking ghetto. And even the average American don't be understanding what that means. And I think that, and like I said, this don't go. The things I say about the African men I've dated, it doesn't go for every African man. I'm just speaking off of my experience. They're very persistent. So, like, if you try to let them go, they're coming forward. They're not going to let you just go. They're not going to be like, okay, shrugs. So I can see them fighting with them. I can see it being a very passionate relationship. And I can see there being that language barrier. I see that cultural barrier between the two of them. He's simply saying, I don't understand this. I'm afraid of this. I've seen voodoo before. I'm wondering what this is. Who is the source of this power? I just need to know who's the source, because I feel like this could be dangerous. And she like, oh, David, whatever. I don't care what you say, blah, blah, blah. And she's just going off. And so, you know, he has a stern way of saying it, so it looks like he's controlling her. She's dismissing him, and they just don't have a healthy set of conversation. What you say? Okay, her frustration while talking on the phone about the goalie situation was sad. Yeah, it was sad. And I just really wish they had that conversation. Really, what would have been fair is she should have talked to David about this goalie situation before the show even started. Why would she start this dream work thing? And maybe it's because she didn't know it would involve David. I don't know. But I just feel like, and I'm not saying like she got to run every single thing past him. I'm just saying like you would think it'd be like a casual conversation. Well, maybe she did. Because I remember first episode, he was like, oh yeah, you mentioned it, but you didn't tell me what it was. And so I just feel like these are conversations they should have had before the show got started. And I hate that this is now the highlight, as opposed to watching Tamar really, because she was begging Mona for this opportunity so she could take her life back, so she could take her career back. And that's what this show was supposed to be about. But now it's everything that's being highlighted is the negativity. Everything that's being highlighted is this fight between David and Goalie. And Goalie's taking it personal. And David don't even know Goalie. It's just he's questioning whether you're into some satanic stuff or not. But I just wish these conversations, like Tamar should not have had her production team in that conversation with her boyfriend. She should not have had Goalie involved in that conversation. It's just even, I mean, she might be able to casually be like, yeah, my boyfriend doesn't think this is what's up, but I do. You know, I just think it was foul how that whole thing is being portrayed, and I think that they're using it to get ratings and to make her like, this is just as bad. She should have went to the break room. Just go to the break room, because they're making you look crazy anyway. So yeah, I think that might be it. Like I said, I'm invested in this Tamar thing because I was very much a fan, and I still am. And I've seen some growth from her, but we know that she has a far way to go. And I just wish the best for her. Like, I wish her family could reconcile. I think maybe now that she's in a more humbled down state, that maybe a couple of them could come together and reconcile. Like, if Tracy's in a more humble space while Tamar's in a humble space, then I think they could maybe reconcile. Yeah, these are my thoughts. So it's your girl Relle Unique here. Please like, please subscribe, please comment, let me know what you think, and I'm out. I holla.